Hello and welcome back. We are so glad you're here for another deep dive.
Hello.
Today we're stripping everything back. We're looking at the fundamental building blocks of where we are in the universe.
It sounds grand, doesn't it?
It sounds so dramatic, I know, but we are tackling one of the trickiest, most frustrating parts of English. We are diving into the position.
It is precise work today. We aren't just talking about grammar. This is about navigation.
Navigation, I like that.
If you get this wrong, you're not just making a little mistake. You are literally losing things. Or, well, worse, you're losing the person you're talking to.
Exactly. And, before we get into the heavy lifting, I just want to set the stage for you listening. Our core philosophy here is connection, not perfection.
That is the rule. However, connection requires clarity. And to get that clarity, we need to train your reflexes. We're going to talk about something called the 3-second rule today.
I love this concept, but I also kind of hate it because it adds so much pressure. So break it down for us. What does that mean for you right now?
It's very simple. In a real conversation, you don't have time to open a textbook.
Yeah.
You don't have time to check Google. When there's a moment of silence, you have about 3 seconds to fill it. After that, the moment it gets awkward, the opportunity is lost.
Right.
So this deep dive is not passive listening. It is active training. We want you to speak before that silence ends.
Okay, so everyone listening, don't just nod along. When we give you a prompt, I want you to actually say it out loud. Test that reflex. Even if you're, on the train, just mutter it under your breath.
Precisely. Because if you don't practice the reflex, you panic.
And
panic is the enemy of fluency.
which, that actually leads perfectly to our hook for today. I want you to imagine a scenario. High-stakes moment. You're late. You're rushing out the door. You pat your pockets and nothing. You've lost your keys.
Ah, the classic nightmare.
Right. So you call your spouse, your roommate, and you're just frantic. They ask you the most important question in the world right then. Where are they?
And this is where the panic sets in. You can see the keys in your mind, but what do you say? Do you say they are in the table, at the table, on the table?
Yeah, and to a beginner, those might all sound pretty similar. Does it really matter? I mean, if I say in the table, people will probably get what I mean, right?
They might guess.
Yeah.
But it matters immensely. In fact, I would argue prepositions aren't random grammar rules at all. They follow the laws of physics.
The laws of physics. Okay, that seems like a high bar for a 2-letter word.
No, think about it. If you tell me my keys are in the table, I am going to be very confused.
Okay.
Because physically, in means containment. So if your keys are in the table, it means you've taken a drill, bored a hole into the solid wood, placed the keys inside, and then sealed it all back up.
Oh, wow. Okay, I see what you mean. That is a very, very different image than just leaving them on top. You're saying the grammar actually dictates the physical reality of it.
Exactly. Language is about painting a picture of reality. Use the wrong preposition. You're painting a picture that defies physics. So our mission today is to fix that picture. We're going to use a tool I call the triangle of location.
A visual, that's helpful, especially for, an audio deep dive. Walk us through this triangle.
Imagine a triangle. At the bottom, the wide base, that's level 1, AN. In the middle, level 2, on and N. And at the very sharp peak at the top, level 3, AT. This isn't random. It is about dimensions.
Dimensions, you mean like 3D versus 2D?
Precisely that. Let's start at the bottom. Level 1, NN. In represents 3 dimensions. It represents volume. It is the container.
So not just like a Tupperware container.
No. A container in English is anything that encloses you on multiple sides. A room is a container.
Right.
A city. A pocket. If you are enclosed, you are in.
Okay, but here's where I always get stuck, and I know our listeners do too. What about vehicles? Because I sit inside a car, so I say in the car, but I also sit inside a bus, and I say on the bus. A bus has walls. It has a roof. It's a container. Why isn't it in?
A fantastic question. And it's the #1 complaint I hear. The rule here isn't just about walls. It's about what I call the walkway rule.
The walkway rule.
Think about the physics of your body. When you enter a car, what do? You crouch down. You sort of fold yourself into the seat.
Yeah.
You are encased by the vehicle. You are in it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, think about a bus or a train, a plane. When you enter, do you crouch? No, you walk. You walk down an aisle. You are standing on a platform, a moving floor. Because you can walk on that surface, you are on the bus, you are on the plane.
That is actually mind-blowing. So if I can stand up and walk, I'm on it. If I have to kind of crawl in, I'm in it.
Correct. It's why you are on a large ship, but you are in a small canoe.
Oh, I love that. Okay, let's lock this feeling in. We're going to use that 3-second rule. I want you to really feel that sense of enclosure for in.
I will say the phrase, I will leave a short silence. You, the listener, I want you to repeat it exactly. Feel the enclosure.
Ready? Let's try it.
In the box.
Go ahead. Say it.
In the room.
Keep going.
In the car.
Excellent. And remember, in the car, because you can't stand and walk around. You are trapped in that volume.
Correct. Now let's move up the triangle. From 3D volume, we move to 2D surfaces. Level 2, on.
So if in is volume, on is just a flat plane.
Yes, on is the surface. The key rule here is physical contact. With a line or a plane, gravity is usually involved.
Contact, so touching.
Touching is essential. If the keys are hovering above the table, they aren't on it. They are over it or above it. To be on, the object has to be resting on that surface.
And this is usually for horizontal things, right? Like a table or the floor.
Usually, yes. But it also applies to vertical surfaces as long as there is contact. Think about a fly on the ceiling. From the fly's perspective, it is walking on that surface. Or a picture. A picture hangs on the wall.
That's a really helpful way to think about it. It's not about which way is up. It's about the contact with the flat plane itself.
Precisely. And this extends to modern surfaces, like technology. We talk about things being on the screen or on the internet.
Right. I wouldn't say the words are in the screen unless I, cracked the glass and found them inside.
Exactly. So let's drill this. Again, focus on the image of contact. 2 dimensions, flat.
3-second rule. Listen, then speak.
On the table.
Your turn.
On the wall.
Visualize that contact.
On the floor.
Perfect. And, that distinction between in the floor, which means you're buried under the tiles, and on the floor is so important.
It is the difference between standing in your living room and being a fossil.
I love that.
Okay.
So we have the container, which is 3D, and the surface, 2D. Now we're at the very top of the triangle, the sharp peak. Level 3, AT.
At is the specific point, 0 dimensions.
0 dimensions. Okay, that sounds like quantum physics.
It's simpler than that. Think of a map, Google Maps. When you drop a pin on a location, that pin doesn't have a length or a width, does it?
No, it's just a dot.
It is just a dot. It is a concept of location. It is a destination.
Of a destiny.
Correct. It's where you are going or where something is located relative to a larger context. If you are waiting for a bus, you are not in the bus stop sign and you're not balancing on top of it. You are at the location of the stop.
This clears up something for me. I actually have a story about this. I once texted a friend and said, I'm in the hospital.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. She immediately called me in a complete panic. What's wrong? Are you hurt? I was just visiting my aunt. I was in the lobby buying a coffee. But because I said in, she thought I was a patient.
That is the perfect example of the nuance. In the hospital implies you're contained by the institution. You're a patient in a bed in the system.
Right.
At the hospital simply marks your location on the map. You're a visitor. You are at that point.
So at is for the general location or that specific mark on the map.
Let's lock this in with a drill. Focus on the destination. The dot on the map.
Here we go.
At the bus stop.
Repeat it.
At the door.
Imagine standing right there.
At the desk.
Okay, at the desk is an interesting one. Why isn't it on the desk?
Well, if you are on the desk, you're standing on top of the furniture.
Right.
Probably changing a light bulb. But if you are at the desk, you're sitting in the chair near the desk doing your work.
That is a crucial difference. One is working, the other is definitely misbehaving.
Exactly.
Okay, so that gives us our triangle. In is volume on a surface, at is a point, but as the more, context is king. And there is one area where I know even advanced learners get tripped up. Buildings.
Buildings are tricky, yes. They are the chameleon of grammar.
Because a building is a container, right? It has walls, a roof, so shouldn't it always be in?
Physically, yes. But we don't always talk about buildings as physical things. Sometimes we talk about their function or as an abstract idea.
Okay, let's unpack that. When do I use in for a building?
You use in when you need to emphasize being physically inside, separate from the outside. If it starts raining, you run in the building. If I call you and ask, where are you physically right now? You might say, I am in the cinema. That means you are inside the auditorium.
Okay. Versus using at.
At is for the activity, the general location. If you say, I am at the cinema, you aren't talking about the walls. You are telling me I am watching a movie. You could be in the lobby buying popcorn or just outside the doors. You are at that location for its purpose.
I see. So in is about the architecture. At is about the purpose.
That is a brilliant way to put it. Yes.
Now, are there exceptions? Because English always has them.
There are two critical exceptions that you must memorize. They are fixed phrases. They don't quite follow the logic because they've become abstract states of being.
Okay, what are they?
First, where you live, you are at home. Note we don't say at the home, just at home.
And never in home.
Never in her. You can be in the house if you're talking about the physical structure, but
Yeah.
for the concept, the feeling of home, you are at home.
Got it. And the second one,
Where you earn your living, you are at work.
not at the work or in the work.
No, work here isn't a building, it's an activity, a state of being employed. You are at work, even if you work from home or outside.
At work, at home. Okay, those seem easy enough to lock in.
They are non-negotiable.
Okay, we've covered the theory, we've visualized the triangle, we've looked at buildings. Now, it's time to see if you can actually do this in the wild.
It is time for the drill.
We're going to simulate that lost keys scenario. We'll give you a setup, a physical description. You have 3 seconds to say where it is using in, on, or at.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Trust the triangle.
Right.
Is it volume, surface, or a point?
Okay, imagine you're looking for your keys.
Scenario 1, you see the keys. They are touching the top surface of the table. Where are they? They are on the table.
Did you get it? Surface means on. Let's say it together one more time.
They are on the table.
Okay, next one.
Scenario 2. You're looking for the milk. You open the fridge door. You see it sitting inside the cooling box, surrounded by walls. Where is the milk? It is in the fridge.
Right. It's a container. It surrounds the milk in the fridge.
Correct.
Last one. This one can be tricky.
Scenario 3. You hear a knock. Someone is standing outside, waiting. They are located by the entrance. Where are they? They are at the door.
Wait, why not on the door? I mean, they're knocking on it.
They're knocking on the surface of the wood, yes. But the person themselves, unless they are a very small insect clinging to the wood, they are standing at the location of the door.
Ah, that's a good distinction. Okay, at the door.
Precisely.
How did that feel? If you got all three, you were doing great. You have found your keys, found the milk, and answered the door. You are surviving life in English.
And more importantly, you are respecting the laws of physics.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the panic of losing things to the logic of the triangle. We now know why you walk on a bus but sit in a car.
We clarified that you are at the hospital as a visitor, but in the hospital as a patient.
And we learned that at home and at work are these special states of being.
So what does this all mean for you? It means you can stop guessing. Visualize the object. Is it a container? Use in. A surface? Use on. A destination? Use at.
But this leads to the next logical step. Now that we know where things are, we have a new problem. We need to know which things they are.
Right, because if I say the keys are on the table, you might ask, which keys?
Exactly. Is it this key right here in my hand? Or is it that key over there on the counter?
That sounds like a whole new challenge.
It is. And that is why our next deep dive, episode 33, will be all about the distance. This versus that, here versus there.
I look forward to it. But before we let you go, one final task. Active training does not stop when this audio ends.
We call this the real-world homework.
Your homework is non-negotiable. I want you to look around the room you're in right now. Find 3 objects.
It's just 3.
Find one that is in something, a pen and a cup. Find one that is on something, a lamp on a desk. And find one that is at a specific point, perhaps a chair at the table.
And here's the key. Say the sentences out loud. The phone is on the table. The coffee is in the mug. Keep it simple. Keep it connected.
Connection, not perfection. But please do get the prepositions right.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye.